Audio is going. Speaking of audio, music. That's what I'm going to be talking about today. Music has been a very prominent part of my summer this year, and it might be the same for you as well. I feel like there's been such great albums coming out this summer, such great singles coming out this summer. Uh, Everyone's making the song of the summer, and there's so many to choose from that none of them can be number one. But yeah, just all joking aside, it's been a great year for music. I feel like as well, like I'm expanding my taste in music more. I'm just opening myself up to more music. So I think that's why as well. I'm finding more great stuff just because I'm willing to explore different genres. And I think that's really fun and I was gonna say a lot of cool. It's a lot of fun and it is cool. So yeah, just want to talk about some albums this summer that have come out that I've been listening to a lot of. The album that kicked off my summer was Kevin Abstract's Blush, which I think is a really, really solid album. Kevin Abstract coming from Brockhampton, back when Brockhampton was a thing. Great boy band. I had my Brockhampton phase. I think it's a natural phase that most people go through around my age. But yeah, Kevin Abstract comes out with this new album, Blush. I didn't really listen to much of his last solo album, and I think it's interesting seeing the rest of the members do their own solo stuff. And I think with this, it's really interesting because this album doesn't feel like specifically Kevin Abstract's album. It feels like Kevin Abstract and his crew, which I think is cool because it feels like Brockhampton, like there's multiple features on this, and the features that are in it are in multiple tracks. So it doesn't really feel like his album necessarily, but I think it's cool that there's a lot of different voices and styles throughout this album that contributed. And just going back to like interviews and stuff that he was talking about when the album was coming out, like a lot of it comes from like this community that he has, and finding these people or just reconnecting with these people and making this music and doing it this way and going back to his roots. And I think that comes across a lot through this album. And I think it's really cool that he's kind of going back to that feeling. And I think he probably misses Brockhampton low-key. Like, hey, it's all good, bro. But yeah, there's I think as a whole, I didn't click with it as a whole as much as just there's multiple singles on the album that I mess with a lot and I listen to a lot. Maroon is like the top song that has been going through my rotation, my summer playlist this summer. I love that song. And there's a lot of other great songs, and also having Quadeca on multiple tracks I thought was really cool. I'm getting more into Quadeca, and I'm going to use this to transition to Quadeca's album, which I think is really cool, called Vanisher Horizon Scraper, which, yeah, I'm getting more into Quadeca's stuff. He started out as more of a rapper. I think he was even doing like YouTube diss tracks and stuff like that. I'm not a fan of, or I'm not like, I wasn't into it, that stuff at the time. That's what I want to say. But yeah, like I just know of his past and how he, like, he's very young, and he's coming from that like YouTube internet era onto like more mainstream. He's onto the mainstream, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I think it's really cool that he's doing something different, and he's kind of making his own path with that kind of stuff. Like, and this album as well kind of proves how like versatile and how unique he can be with his music. And there's a lot of great influences from it. Like, there's jazzy tones to it. There's also, I think he mentioned like all influences from like bossa nova music, which is really cool and really interesting. There's like oceanic vibes to it as well. Like you could definitely listen to this at the beach, and that's great summertime music. So good on him for releasing this album in the summer because you could just chill at the beach, listen to this. And it's also an album that is kind of like genreless. Like it's not, you couldn't really fit it into one genre. Like there is elements of rap and there's elements of jazz and there's elements of different types and styles of music. But each song kind of is different, but not drastically different. Like I'm trying to describe what I'm trying to say, but it all communicates a similar vibe throughout. Like you can feel the vibe throughout. But there's so much like unique qualities to each song. That's what I'm trying to say. And I think this is like a great album because of its pacing as well. Like there's songs that take its time, songs that build up and like crescendo and do all this crazy stuff, and it's like whoa, 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 that's cool. So yeah, I think it's probably the top album of the summer that's great to listen to in a sequence, or just like listen to it in order of the album, just back to back. You could definitely listen to it and just get a different cool vibe from it. So yeah, definitely recommend it. And I know he did like a film for it, which is really cool. I need to watch that. It's basically like an hour-long music video. I think he's using some of the music videos that he already released into. That's beside the point, but he made a freaking movie to the album. I gotta check it out. I think he's a cool, like, creative voice, and I think it's really like kind of inspirational, like at his age, that he's so like distinct and has a unique voice. So I think that's like creatively inspiring to me as well. And like he's very open about his creative approach and process. Like I was watching a little bit of he did like a live stream on how he made the album as well. Like he was going through his software, breaking down certain things, which I think is really cool. And I think it's cool when an artist can like open up. And like I know sometimes with artists, they just want to release some music, that's it. Like that's kind of all their energy, and they don't feel like doing more than that. But I think it's cool as well when an artist can be more open with their fans, or just open with everyone, like this is why I made this, or this is how I got this song. Or I think just learning about the creative process with music is super fascinating. And it also adds to listening to the album. Like yeah, knowing about his influences and knowing about the work that he put into the album, I appreciate it even more, which is also awesome. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other albums. I listened to Justin Bieber's Swag album. It's very interesting because he kind of like quietly put this out. Like Justin Bieber is one of the biggest artists in the world, biggest names in the world, and he comes out with Swag. And Swag sounds really big and bold and crazy, but this is a very smaller scale, quieter album maybe. I think as a whole, I didn't really vibe with the whole thing, just because there's more slower songs, slower paced songs, and very somber, which I think they're well made, but there's kind of like select few songs that I just like vibe with a lot in my rotation on the playlist. So there's a few of those songs, and also McGee producing. Of course I'm gonna listen to this album because McGee produced it. I love McGee. Gotta reference McGee once in a while, and I think McGee is awesome, and McGee's cool, and listen to McGee's album if you haven't, 2-Star on the Dream Police. I think if McGee didn't work on this album, I probably wouldn't listen to it. No shade to JB, but let me just be real. Am I gonna be listening to JB on his own? No. But JB has a cool artistic approach, I'll say that. And it's not like McGee made this whole album. Like Justin Bieber is very responsible for the good songs in there. But yeah, just want to say that. And also, Tame Impala came out with a new single, which I know people, Tame Heads, I don't know what the fan base is called, but we can just call them Tame Heads for now. The Tame Heads are disappointed. I was looking on Reddit, and the Tame Heads are not happy. They're like, what the heck is this song? This is not the Tame we like. But I think it's cool that he's kind of doing his own thing now. He's like, yeah, let me just do something different. And it's not like drastically different. Like, it's not like a slow, like, somber, what the heck, experimental. It's not that. It has kind of a, kind of a similar vibe to his old stuff. Not really, but I think it kind of, that kind of music can kind of merge into what he's trying to do. I guess, like, it's not like like the contrast is not there. Like, this song is more house music, more bassy. Trying to think of words. I'm not like a huge like music knowledge terminology guy, so I'm trying to think of words. But yeah, it is different than his last albums. But I think doing that is cooler and probably more fulfilling for him than just making the same kind of stuff, but just not as interesting, or just kind of like a lesser version of Currents or a lesser version of his previous albums. Like, so I think it's cool that he's trying something different. We'll see like how that turns out. I'm assuming he's gonna put out an album, and this song will be on it. And this is also a 7-minute long song, which is pretty long. But I think listening to it more, like when it comes on, I'm like, okay, 7 minutes of just Tame. 7 minutes of Kevin Parker doing what he wants. Tyler, the Creator, came out with a new album, Don't Tap the Glass. Don't tap the glass, don't tap the glass. Which I think is really cool. That, a lot of people are appreciating the album, and a lot of like establishments and a lot of just places outside of the music industry are like appreciating the album and noticing it. Like, when I went to the zoo on the exhibits, they had the title of the album on the glass, which I think is really cool that they are kind of referencing Tyler. So I think that's really cool. But no, Tyler, the Creator, dropped new album. I think it's really awesome. I think it's interesting that, I guess for me specifically, like, not to brag, but I did see Tyler in concert. Yep, that's right, guys. Yep, that's right. I saw Tyler in concert, and it was pretty cool. But I saw him in concert, and this was like days before he dropped the album. And I was kind of like, there was a lot going on this trip, and Tyler concert was at the end of the trip. I was a little tired at the end, and so there's a lot going on. And also, yeah, like in the concert, it was the Chromacopia concert, of course, which was really cool. He uses like his stage performance, what's the word? He had a good performance on the stage. Like, he makes it worth it. Like, he makes it like an event. And like the costumes and production design was really cool, and it's consistent with his style with Chromacopia, and then also bringing back to his old stuff, which was really cool. But what was I going to say? I was going to say that, yeah, I saw online, like, he was kind of like teasing the album, and I didn't really, because I was like, Chromacopia came out in the fall. I wasn't thinking like, oh, new album. I was thinking, whatever, he's doing some freaking merch. Whatever this glass thing is, not really interested right now, guy. Okay? And then even like in the concert, there was like booths, and it said "Don't Tap the Glass," and it had that had what's on the album cover of him. It was kind of there, and I was like, "What? Sure." What? I was like, "This is some merch thing, whatever." Okay, just here for Chromacopia, okay? Like, you can do this, whatever this is. Because it was so, like, vague. Or maybe I just thought it was vague. Maybe other people were like, oh, this is an album, of course. Not me. I guess wasn't really thinking album. Just because it's been less than a year. And normally, that's not his style. Or normally, that doesn't happen. I don't know. But safe. What I'm trying to get at is that, I had a little bit of, there's so much Tyler going on, did the Tyler concert, and then I see, oh, he made a new album just out of nowhere. And there was a little bit of Tyler fatigue, I guess I'm trying to get at. However, this album felt very refreshing. That doesn't really matter about the Tyler fatigue. I popped on the album a little bit after it came out just because I needed a little break. This is kind of stupid, but it's true. Like, I was just like, okay, like, let me just take sometimes with certain artists or certain stuff, I don't need everything all at once right now. So I took a break for a few days, came to the album, was like, not surprised, but I was just like so relieved that it was something different from his last albums, and especially Chromacopia. I like Chromacopia a lot, but I found that it didn't like click with me as much as his last albums. I thought there's more like great single songs on it, and like just kind of low-key bloated album. No shade, but I was just like, yeah, there's just certain songs that go on for a little too long. You're just listening to the album as a whole. I didn't really do much of that, and yeah. But this album, Don't Tap the Glass, I think it's the most listened to album of my summer. I'm going to say that just because all the songs have that upbeat energy, have that just, you want to move, you want to dance, and he made the album for that. For just moving and grooving, and I don't think he said that specifically, but he made the album kind of like for that vibe. Just like, you can move, you can dance, you got to do something, you got to get up and move listening to this. It's a great album for like exercising, it's a great album for driving, it's a great album to get you in a good mood. I think that's the best way to put it. And I think with summer music, you want that kind of energy. You want that kind of like upbeat, let's get going, let's get the day going, let's move. That's kind of good summer music. And I think Tyler pulled that off greatly. And makes sense why he dropped it kind of early, because it's perfect summer music. I don't know if that was very intentional, but it feels like it. But so many like really good songs on it that I've just been listening to it back to back. You can go through the album. It's also like shorter than his last album, so you can kind of just go by it. I'm trying to think of the word. You can just, you can quickly bang it out, which is great. But then you can also listen. There's certain songs that I love. Sucka Free, Sugar on My Tongue, Don't You Worry Baby. Those are top songs that I've been messing with. But as a whole, it's a great album too. But I'm probably assuming you already know that. I listened to Alex G's new album, and I think I might need to listen to it again, or I might need to listen to it another time. I don't know. I think I liked the single that he put out before the album came out. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but I like that song. But I think the album just kind of like blurred all together for me. Like, there wasn't really much of a standout. And a lot of times when I'm listening to albums initially, that will happen, where it's just like listening to it for the first time, everything kind of blurs together. But then like listening to it out of order or listening to certain songs helps bring out finding songs that I like or finding the standout. So I think I'll probably listen to it again, but I wasn't like crazy about it. And I don't know what I think as well. Just Alex G sometimes isn't summer music. I'm going to be real. Alex G is perfect winter music. Alex G is perfect fall music. Spring, I'll say it too. But summer, there's some songs, that's debatable. Sure, there's certain songs that he's made that are summer songs. But I think as a vibe, or I think this summer, Alex G is not the vibe for me. And does that mean I don't like Alex G? No. Just right now, I'm not really feeling Alex G. But I know in the fall, winter, kind of those more colder, somber. I was gonna say more serious. Yeah, I think there's certain music for me. There's certain music where it's just like, this is good winter music. This is good fall music. Just sometimes it fits the aesthetic or it fits what's going around for me better. So yeah, I'm gonna listen to Legaxcy again. That's what I have to say. Other music that came out, Sam Gellaitry, I think that's how you pronounce his last name. He had a new single, Start Up a Rumor. Great song, great summer music. Sorry, Legaxcy, but Sam knows how to make great summer music. But yeah, I've been getting more into Sam Gellaitry. Love his vibe, and it's very electronic, very, you can just, it's great like party music, or it's great music to get you in that mood. So I've been listening to more of his like older singles, older albums as well. But he dropped the single, so I've been listening to that on repeat. Good to put in the playlist this summer. So yeah, definitely would recommend if you want a good, upbeat, poppy little song. Speaking of poppy little songs and fun, upbeat, KAYTRANADA had a new album that just came out this last week. Ain't No Damn Way, dude. Okay. I don't know why I said that. But yeah, he love KAYTRANADA. This album is way more instrumental, but I think that's still good. KAYTRANADA knows what he's doing. He's a great producer, great DJ. So no complaints with that. Great music to get you going and, get you moving as well, get you dancing, doing all that kind of stuff. So would recommend if you want to dance and move around. I listened to as well Jim Legacy's new album, Black British Music, his new album. But yeah, I've been getting more into his stuff, and it's UK rap, but it's also an album that it's not specifically in one genre. Like, there is elements of rap, but there's also interesting instrumentals that he puts in it. Great like samples as well. Like, he uses certain things and flips samples, which is really cool. But there's also like more like sad, emo, quieter songs. So he's definitely doing something different, and he's definitely doing something cool. I will say that. I guess there's more songs that are more upbeat and more in your face poppy that I've been listening to more than the other songs. But as a whole, it's still a great album. And I think if you're looking for something like new kind of rap, or new, I'm not sure what to specify his thing as, but if you're looking for something like fresh in that kind of territory, I would definitely recommend it. And there's also other albums that have recently come out that I need to re-listen to or get into, like Dijon's new album, Rich Brian's new album. Definitely want to listen to those. But yeah, those are just all the albums that I've been listening to. Let me know if there's any cool music you've been listening to, anything you would recommend, anything, listen to this, bro. Maybe there's some crazy music that I'm just unaware of, that I just missed out on, and everyone knows it except for me. But we'll see. And yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys are listening to, and that's all.